on, everyone, and welcome. It is match day, the penultimate friendly, the send-off for the U.S. men's national team as they set to play host to der Mannschaft, Deutschland, Germany. And God damn it, I'm fired up, man. This is a fantastic test for the United States. This is exactly what we need to kind of bring this whole thing together. There is a lot of skepticism still. And of course, when the lineup was introduced not too long ago, there was I guess you can say a collective sigh from those that still have a little bit of doubt when it comes to this. But let me tell you, it is going to be a fantastic afternoon. It is going to be absolute fire. And I know that there are people in the chat already that is, already saying, let's fucking go, because this is exactly how we feel today. Do you know what else is exciting? Hitting that like and subscribe button, and also hitting that notification bell as well too. We are 4 away from 500. So support the channel. If you guys are watching on TikTok live, the description, the link is going to be in my bio, so you can head over to YouTube and show your favorite channel some love by hitting that subscribe button. And of course, as we march towards 1,000, we can monetize. We can do some really cool stuff. We can do subscriptions. And then, of course, at that stage, maybe I'll start thinking about doing some Patreon stuff. But definitely do me a favor, show the channel some love, and hit that like and subscribe button, and let the algorithm do what the algorithm does successfully, which is make this channel, the shit. All right. Quickly, I want to say what's up to Greg, 1987. And of course, Greg, man, you're my guy. I love the fact that you show the channel some love. So I do absolutely appreciate it. He says, LFG, let's effing go. Dan Davenport, 6902. What's going on, Danny? Hope you're doing well across the pond in England. He said, did you hear that Levy sold 25% of his Spurs share? Yes, I did. And it's going to be interesting. I'm gonna be doing a show on that coming up pretty soon. But today is about U.S. versus Germany. Let's see. You see the 94 World Cup team get recognition before the game. I did, and I'm glad because I know that the 94 team gets a lot of recognition, as they should. But really, this thing started in 1990, and so that crew, Mike Windishman, Tony Meola, Tab Ramos, John Harkes, Paul Caligiuri, those guys, that young team that got qualified in '89 for the '90 World Cup. Those guys are Bruce Murray. Those guys were the crew that put this whole thing in motion for the U.S. men's national team, and that is where the modern age starts. So I think, as much as I love the 94 team, Ernie Stewart, Cello, Marcelo Balboa, all those guys, man, Eric Winalda, all those guys, yes, they are very important. But those I seriously want the U.S. fans to understand that it begins with that 1990 team. All right, let's see. We have Adam 646 AD. What's going on, Big Adam? He says 2-1 USA. I love it. Let's see what else we have. We have Waldo Hur. I love all the German fans here as well too. And I hope you guys are doing well in Germany. Dusseldorf. Let's see who else. What else? Hamburg, Berlin. I hope you guys are doing well over there. He says 2-1 Germany. All right. And all right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lineups today. And of course, today's lineups are brought to you in part by Kirkland's Signature seltzer water. Make sure you go to Costco and pick up your Kirkland Signature. I'm just playing. Let's see. So let's begin with Germany, and of course they are headed up by Julian Nagelsmann. Today they'll be playing in a 4-2-3-1. In goal today will be Oliver Baumann. He applies his trade with Hoffenheim. He'll be in net today, and of course he's been off and on pretty much their starter throughout World Cup qualifying. Yes, Neuer is definitely on the team. Actually, is he? No, he's not. Actually, sorry about that. They have a back line of Kimmich and Nathaniel Brown. And of course, US fans will know Nathaniel Brown. Obviously, he was a dual nat. And a lot of US fans wanted Nathaniel Brown. Unfortunately, he decided to ride it out with Germany. So it is what it is. He will be on the left-hand side, and today's captain will be Joshua Kimmich. Of course, Kimmich with Bayern Munich, he will be wearing the captain's armband today. We have Nico Schlotterbeck and Jonathan Tah as your center back pairing. The double pivot today will be Alexander Pavlovich, who also plays for Bayern Munich, and obviously it will be Felix Ncheka. Emecha, excuse me, he plays for Borussia Dortmund. And the attacking third across the midfield off the left-hand side will be Florian Wirtz, who is absolutely fantastic. We have Leroy Sané, who plays for Galatasaray. Jamal Musiala will be at the number 10. And then up top will be Kai Havertz, the asshole from Arsenal. All those dudes are assholes. It's nothing new. On the bench today for Germany will be Alexander Nubel, Jonas Ulbrich, who will be the keepers. Then you have defenders Antonio Rudiger, David Raum, Malik Dia, Waldemar Anton, Angelo Stiller, Leon Goretzka, Maximilian Bayer, Nadim Amiri, Pascal Grob, Dennis Undav, Jaime Llewellyn, Nick Voltamata, and of course Manuel Neuer is out with injury. And of course, this is a on paper, it looks like this is going to be a tough Germany team. But that being said, we also know what Germany is capable of not doing, which is coming through when it absolutely matters. 2 straight World Cup group stage exits, and of course, we still really don't know what this Germany team is made of when they start getting into the top 10, the best teams in the world. For your U.S. men's national team, and of course, it's mine, it's yours, it's everyone's. It belongs to not only the U.S., but also the world as well, too. Thank you. That's yet another thing that we have given the world. I'm just messing around. In goal today will be Matt Freese, and I don't think that this is any surprise because Matt Freese, in the last window, we saw Matt Turner get the start against Belgium, and of course, Matt Freese goes win against Portugal. It's the same situation this time, as Freese will be between the sticks today for the U.S. And I hope that Freese gets the full 90 today, and there is no rotation. The back three will see Alex Freeman off the right hand side with Captain Tim Ream off the left, and of course Miles Robinson will get the start centrally in that back three. Your midfield four will see Jedi Robinson off the left and Serginho Dest off the right. And today's double pivot will feature Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie. And again, I don't think that this is a surprise because this is the best way you can get Tillman and McKennie on the pitch together. And also just the way that McKennie is going to be used, occupying those central areas in the attack. This is absolutely fantastic. Underneath, as the 210s, will be off the left-hand side, Captain America himself, Christian Pulisic. Off the right-hand side will be Malik Tillman. And, of course, all you Germans over there understand Malik Tillman plays for Bayer Leverkusen. I think they call Bayer Leverkusen, second Kusen over there, those Bayern Munich fans. And then up top will be Flo Balogun. On the bench today for the U.S. will be Chris Brady and Matt Turner. Those are the two keepers. We have defenders Austin Trusty, Joe Scally, Mark McKenzie. Midfielders will be Brendan Aronson, Christian Roldan, Gio Reyna, Max Arfston, Sebastian Berhalter, and Timmy Weah. And the attack will be Zendejas, Wright, and Pepe. And, of course, before we get to kickoff today, I will say that I figured that this would be the lineup. And it makes a tremendous amount of sense, too, because we did see some rotation in the first game against Senegal, but I really felt like today we would see something very close to what the starting 11 will look like against Paraguay. Now, obviously, Chris Richards will be occupying one of those starting spots on the defensive three, the back three. And I would probably assume that Alex Freeman is probably going to be a part of those back three as well, too. Today, I got the impression that the only reason Miles Robinson is starting today is for confidence after the mistake against Senegal. And it was a bad mistake. One of the things that Mauricio Pochettino likes to do is put those players right back out there. There's no time to hang your head. There's no time for excuses. Get back out there and perform up to the capabilities in which you can perform. And I think that's the reason why Miles Robinson is in this game today. I would probably be certain that we're going to see Brendan Aronson, potentially Haji Wright today. And I also think at some point we will see Austin Trusty as well, too. Is this going to be a situation where we're going to see rotation at the 45-minute mark? Yes, possibly, because I think that is something that we've seen quite a bit over the course of the last 3 games. And so from that standpoint, you want players to get minutes, you want sharpness. And so from that standpoint, I think that Mauricio Pochettino has done a fairly decent job. Let's see. Stuart Moore says football, not soccer. Listen, dude, soccer is a word that was invented in England in 1865 or 1866, whenever the FA was put together, was created. And of course, the word soccer is an abbreviation for association rules. One of the things that Brits like to do is they like to shorten words by adding the ER to the end of the words to shorten it, right? So, for instance, rugby is rugger, champagne is champers. You get the point, right? So they take the first, the first, I guess you can say the prefix of a word and then add ER to it. But the first word, I guess you can say the first grouping of letters is the word ASS, right? And I think those Oxford boys back in the day had too much decorum to play Asser. So they went to the next, which was SOC, and we have soccer. So that's why we play soccer, not Asser. But the other thing also is we have another sport in the U.S. called football, and we just don't want to confuse people. So what is up with this Jewish power in the TikTok? It's funny. It's weird. We have all this Jewish power stuff. No, I'm not a gooner. Spurs, baby. Oh, and then we have a lot of trolls. All right, cool. So let's see real quick. We have Dan Davenport who says Alexi Lawless. Yep, absolutely. Alexi, still one of our best center backs of all time. We need to talk about Liverpool, American owners sacking Slot and hiring Andoni Iraola. Do we really have to talk about it? I don't know if we need to talk about it right now, Dan, but what I will say is I think it's appropriate. The players did not like the style of football that Arne Slot played. If Arne Slot was smart, he would have kept the same system that won him the Premier League the first time around. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So let's check in and see where we're at. And of course, for the United States, this is it is something that we're actually very good in these games. We have a very good track record of winning the send-off games. Very rarely have we lost it. Now there is no correlation between winning this game and our performance in the World Cup. But that being said, for momentum, for continuity, for chemistry, yes, you would like to win this one. Spain is the best. U.S. is really bad. Okay, whatever. You lads are getting okay, whatever. Yamin Lamal, Austin Trusty, yeah, I like him too. My 4 semifinalists, I think, England, Portugal, France, and Argentina, I believe. And I got France and England in the final. All right. So as we are getting ready, let me know what your guys' predictions are. I have the U.S. winning today. I'm going to go with a scoreline of 2-1. I have goals by Flo Balogun, and I'm also going to say a goal by Weston McKennie. And I think we're probably going to get those goals. Yeah, I think in the first half. I think we'll get those in the first half. I think Germany will score, and I think Germany will do a very good job late of trying to put us on the heels. But I think that ultimately we end up beating Germany 2-1 today. So let me know exactly how you guys feel about that. Put this in the chat. Of course, Dan Davenport says 2-0. 2-0 USA. Congratulations. I love it. And in TikTok, we have a whole bunch of trolls that are taking Germany today. And by the way, if it does happen to go that way, congratulations. But it's going to be a USA win today. So we are live from Chicago, and of course, it is 79 degrees in the beautiful city of Chicago. Wind is at 6 miles per hour. The humidity is at 70% today in the Great Lakes region. So a lot of good. By the way, man, I love the fact that German fans are out here today. I love it. I love seeing it. The United States is out in full force as well too, and I love seeing the American Outlaws doing their thing. So we are very close to kickoff. So let me know exactly who's going to win, who's your man of the match. It looks like the U.S. will be in their road star shirts today, as they will be playing, and it looks like they're going to be playing from right to left, as Germany will be in their home whites, der Mannschaft, in their home whites. And I've always, what's interesting about Germany, I've always appreciated their colors. I've always liked their black, red, and yellow, and I've always thought they've had some pretty wicked shirts. So Germany was always that team that I never necessarily rooted against. I never rooted for, because me personally, I'm a fan of the Netherlands. So obviously, I'll take the Dutch over the German. But that being said, I didn't not mind Germany, is what I'm saying. So we are off, as Germany will hold possession as this one gets played all the way back to Baumann. And that ball will make its way forward as Tim Ream will pop this one forward. It comes down, and it finds its way to Weston McKennie, who plays it off to Christian Pulisic. Tyler Adams will play it forward, but not before Sane will play this one all the way back. So Germany will have possession as we are 22 seconds into the first half, as Baumann will play this long, as Freeman will pop it forward. Here's Malik Tillman. That ball is going to get taken away. There is a tackle, no foul, as this ball makes the switch to the right-hand side. Here's Sane, 1v1 against Jedi. And Musiala will hit that's Tyler Adams, actually. And it looks like that'll be Emecha that goes down. So this will be a free kick for Germany in a very dangerous area off the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. And it looks like it will be Joshua Kimmich standing over this one. Yep, it is. So we are about a minute in, and the U.S. already is put in a very trying position, as Germany here will have this free kick. And it looks like it's not just Kimmich, it's also Florian Wirtz and Leroy Sané standing above this one, as the U.S. gets its wall together. And here's the whistle, as Kimmich will play this one in. Header. Oh, there's the goal. So a minute 48, there's Kai Havertz putting Germany ahead 1-0. And just like that, bad mistake. And by the way, how was Kai Havertz not even marked in the box here? Who is responsible for that? Oh, is that Miles Robinson? Yep. As Kai Havertz gets exposes Miles Robinson. So there you go. 2 games, 2 mistakes. As let's see, we welcome. Here's Abelotti. Hello, my American friend. Good to see you. This defense sucks. Derpy the 501st. Tim Ream in 2026. That's kind of funny. All right, so Germany gets on the board first. A minute and a half in, as Tyler Adams will puts down Emecha, and on the ensuing free kick, Kai Havertz puts Germany up 1-0. As the U.S. here on the replay plays this one out, so Germany will have the throw in here. Unbelievable. So Miles Robinson gets exposed only about a minute in. So the U.S., by the way, I'm not worried about this. We're only a minute in. We still have 85 minutes left to play, as the U.S. is still trying to get their footing in, as this one will go off of Jedi Robinson. So Germany will have the throw in. So I'm not necessarily too worried about this. One of the things the U.S. can't do is go down by a large number. If we're able to keep it, at 1-0 for at least the next 15, 20 minutes, I'm sure we're going to grow into this game. As this ball gets played down the right side, it'll go out. So the U.S. will have a throw in here. And I fully expect the U.S. to play their way back into this one. As Pulisic here will try to dribble between two defenders, as this one is swiped away by Nathaniel Brown. So this one will go out. So the U.S. will throw this one back in, as Miles Robinson will probably look to play this across. He does. Here's Tim Ream, as Ream dribbles forward, lays it off to Jedi, and Jedi is going to play this one forward, finds Pulisic, as Pulisic tries to dribble around. Last touch by Kimmich, as this one will go out. So the U.S. will have another throw in here, as the U.S. are wearing their stars shirt with the pride colored numbers on the back. Doesn't necessarily seem like it's needed, but all right. As Jedi will play this in, as Malik Tillman played it back to Jedi for some reason. It's going to be swiped away by Germany. In the scrum, it finds Christian Pulisic, as Germany will try to come away with this, and they will, as this one takes a deflection off of Tyler Adams, as that ball was just pinged around off that left-hand side for the U.S., but it does go out, so Germany will have the throw-in. And that's a good throw-in right there, as Miles Robinson will head it forward, as it comes down to Weston McKennie. Here's Serginho Dest, gets boxed out, as Nathaniel Brown will play it forward, as Tyler Adams will do a good job of trying to play it back to Jedi, but Jedi can't hold it. And now here comes Germany on a quick attack, as I'd move it into a central area. Here's Sane, and he's going to have to turn around, as Kimmich now will play it in and play it down the right-hand side. It does have Leroy Sane wide open, a little too far forward. Oh, and Germany just scored again. And they're going to say this one was out of bounds. Ooh, so yeah, the U.S. got lucky. As that ball was a good play ball over the top, but yeah, it gets out of bounds. As Kai Havertz came in, but yeah, that ball was played out of bounds. So the U.S. will have a goal kick here, as Germany is arguing that it was in. It was definitely out. Oh, was it called offsides? Fair enough. As Jedi will play it back to Ream, as the U.S. are dealing with a pretty solid press by Germany, as there is a whistle right there as Tyler Adams goes down. That will be against Jamal Musiala right there. As we see the goal again, as Miles Robinson I wouldn't even say he loses track of Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz just was left all alone there for that header right there. So, yeah. So Pulisic will play this one forward. trying to get it to Flo Balogun, but Jonathan Tah just muscles him away as Kimmich will play it across. Does have Nathaniel Brown, and Brown's got space down the left-hand side. As Germany now will work this to the right-hand side, as Tah will play it probably off to Kimmich. Yeah, he does. As Christian Pulisic is pressing Kimmich pretty well. As Kimmich now will dribble over to the left-hand side. And here's Kai Havertz. As the U.S. do a very good job defensively here. As that does go out of bounds, so it'll be a Germany throw-in. U.S. trying to avoid the corner. As this one gets played out. As Nathaniel Brown will have to play this one back. And it goes all the way back to Jonathan Tah. As Schlotterbeck now will play it forward. Good way to take off that pass for the U.S. And immediately it's just tipped right back to Germany. And there's an errant pass that'll find Freeman. As that one will go out. As Germany will win the throw-in. As the U.S. right now are completely out of sorts here. As we're 8.5 minutes in. And it feels like the speed of Germany has really surprised the U.S. in some sorts. That being said, we'll see what the next 10 minutes we'll actually have with this one. As again, this is an opponent where the U.S. really needs to see where they're at. As this ball will go all the way down to Sane. As Jedi does a good job of keeping Sane off the ball. Tim Ream is dealing with issues here. As Jedi will play this one forward. Does find Pulisic. And now Pulisic will play it up the right-hand side. Has his man headed forward. As there is a whistle. Here we go. And they're going to say this is going to go against Germany. As Christian played a very good ball forward past Kimmich. As Serginho Dest was very well handled by Nathaniel Brown there. As Germany actually has the goal kick. As play resumes here. As the U.S. are pressing Germany. As Kimmich plays out of trouble. Schlotterbeck now will play it down the left-hand side. That's a good pass right here from Nathaniel Brown. He's got space wide open down the left-hand side. On the outside is Havertz. He plays it off. There's a shot across the box. Oh, and that just completely goes out. So the U.S. get lucky again as they had nothing but wide open space down that left-hand side as Kai Havertz had the overlap there. He played one across the box as Sane was there, but the ball went past Sane. Good attacking opportunity for Der Mannschaft. Again, 10 minutes in, and it's been all Germany. Yeah, we are looking a bit flat. As play resumes, as this ball will make it get back to Matt Freese. Here's Tim Ream. And now it'll find Jedi. As this ball will go back to Freese. Freese has to rush it. As he does, this ball will be played out. So yet again, Germany is really, really pressing the issue here early. But the U.S. are starting to find some space. They're starting to play through some pressure. But Germany still is controlling the tempo of this game as the U.S. are in a position where we have to react. As here's Kimmich now. He's going to play this one long. Does have Sane, but now there's Matt Freese. Comes out of his box. Does a good job there. And you can see that left-hand side, that right-hand side is a point of emphasis for Germany. That's a good takeaway by the U.S. as Christian Pulisic nearly lost the ball. Here's Malik Tillman. It finds Weston McKennie, headed back to Pulisic. Here's Pulisic. It's got Balogun on the overlap. There's a ball into the backside. Oh, and it misses Serginho Dest. And they're saying last touch by Baumann. I don't know if they're going to get the call here, though. Good counterattack from the Americans. Oh, it didn't even hit Baumann right there. Good counterattack for the Americans here in the 12th minute. As Germany will have the throw in here, so it'll be Nathaniel Brown, as this one will get played back to Baumann. As the U.S. will set their defense as it makes its way to Schlotterbeck. That's a good defender, Nico Schlotterbeck. Nicolas, that's a good ball. That's going to be tipped forward. Tim Ream will be there, as Ream will play this one back to Matt Freese. Germany currently leads 1-0 as we are in the 13th minute here in the first half. As it is raining and it is sunny here in Chicago. And there's Tim Ream. As Ream will play this down the left-hand side. It does find Jedi. He's got space. As Pulisic will dump it off, it's going to be Tyler Adams. And now they're going to make this down the right-hand side as they do find Serginho Dest. It's Alex Freeman. And now there's going to be the reset here as Tyler Adams will be on the ball. As Christian Pulisic is dropped deep to make that touch. And now the U.S. will set up in possession in Germany's half of the pitch here. And one of the things that the U.S. has to avoid is playing this ball back. One of the things you do not want to do is concede space against this Germany team. You don't want to give them an invitation to press your center backs. This ball has to continue to get forward if you're the U.S. Here's Tillman. As Tim Ream, that was a good little move by Tim Ream. It opens up Jedi off the left-hand side. Here's Jedi against Kimmich. Jedi will play one in. It's going to take a deflection off of Kimmich. So the U.S. will get their first corner. I believe that we will win too. So the U.S. now, they are now getting forward. That's a good little corner right here. Here's the shot. Ooh, as it goes over the bar. Ooh, that was a good little disguise set piece for the U.S. right there as it made its way outside the 18. A good shot on target, just goes over the crossbar by Serginho Dest. Yep. Absolutely, Greg. And then there's Natesky, man, my guy. RIFC TID, baby. Hello to you, Manuel. In TikTok. It's good to see you, Manuel. Hopefully you're doing well today as this ball will get played long, as it will get played forward. Here's Balogun now. Balogun against Ta. 1v1. There's a shot that's going to get deflected by Ta. So again, the U.S. are taking their chances against Germany's center back. Against Germany's back line. Last time it was against Kimmich. This time it's going to be against Jonathan Tah. Good deflection. As the U.S. will try to play this one short. Here's Pulisic. And now Tyler Adams plays it over to Serginho. And now it's Alex Freeman. Here's Jedi. Plays it all the way to the left. It's Christian. Here's Pulisic, 1v1. Plays one in. Deflected. Kept in by Dest. So the U.S. are keeping pressure here. Here's Jedi. Now it's Serginho. Now it's Freeman. Good pass in. One touch between him and Balogun as that ball makes its way out again. Come on, you're going to have to play one in, boys. There's the switch to the right-hand side. Does find Freeman, and I don't know what Freeman was doing right there, but he heads it forward as the U.S. will hold possession still. Here's Freeman. Freeman dribbles, lays it off to Tillman. Tillman, as the U.S. still hold possession here. And there's the turnover. But Balogun nearly kept it. As the U.S. comes away. Adams across the box. Pulisic headed away. U.S. will hold. Here's Jedi. Cuts in. And that's going to be possession lost right here as the U.S. do a good job of eliminating the quick counter. But the U.S. again just on that corner. No shots, no balls in, which was a little bit of a downer because they did have the switch, and Freeman should have taken that ball off the chest and at least tried to play one in. Instead, he heads it forward for some stupid reason. There's the switch to the right-hand side. Here's Leroy Sané, 1v1 against Jedi. There's a ball in. Oh, that's a good head right there. That's a good header out of the box. As Serginho Dest will play it out for a Germany throw-in. Ja, der Mannschaft. Who will win the World Cup? I have France beating England, but it wouldn't surprise me if England showed up this time around. I'm really high on the Three Lions. You know, it's interesting because Germany to me is like the U.S., right? Because of the last two World Cups, and especially the last World Cup, where they were in a group that Germany should have won. It was a massive disappointment under Hansi Flick. And, Germany has to prove that they're capable of competing in the upper echelon of world football. You know, their last 5 against the top 10 wasn't good. You know, losing to Spain, losing to Portugal, losing to France, drawing against Italy and the Netherlands. Really, their only, I guess you can say, solid win did come against the Netherlands. So I guess that's something. But, against their, I guess you can say the competition which German fans believe that they should be competing against, not exactly a great record. It's hard to tell what to make of Germany when they're beating Luxembourg and they're beating Finland. That doesn't give you a good idea of what this Germany team is capable of. There's a turnover in the mid. Here comes Germany now. It's Amecha lays it off to the left-hand side. Kept in. 5 Hertz. Here's Musiala. As this makes its way over, as Kimmich will take a hard touch. There's a chip shot back to the left as this one will go out. So the U.S. will get possession back. When you're beating Slovakia and Switzerland and Ghana, it's like, yeah, okay, those are the teams you're supposed to beat. But when you're playing the best teams in Europe and you're consistently not doing the things you're supposed to be doing, it's hard to determine just how good this Germany team is. Same with the U.S. If we're being honest about it, this ball gets taken away from McKinney, and that's a bad pass for Germany, as Matt Freese now will play this one long, and it'll get all the way back as Baumann is there. Under Greg Berhalter, the United States was very good in CONCACAF. As a matter of fact, you can call them the kings of CONCACAF. But as soon as we got out of our region, we had, no signature wins. We had a nice draw against Brazil, but I would probably assume our biggest win was probably against Iran in the last World Cup. It just wasn't good enough. So I can understand the skepticism of American fans. And that's why this match is important. It's one thing to do the business against Senegal, but Germany is a good is a good high water mark. If we're able to handle Germany, that would be a very good result. There's a ball down the right side. Here's Sane, plays one across the box, and that's just a little too heavy. And it looks like it was Kai Havertz that was running to the back post there. And now there is a pause for hydration. America hasn't beaten a top 10 teams in ages. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I think Jurgen Klinsmann, during his tenure, we did beat Italy, Germany, and the Netherlands in friendlies. Of course, all three of those at the time were top 10 teams. So we were able to do that in friendly. But the last time we've beaten a top 10 team in tournament play was 2009 Confederation Cup against Spain. That was it. Who is John Gate? He says, this is effing bullshit. We are getting smoked again. Well, we're not really getting smoked. We're only down by 1, and we did concede within the first minute. But since then, the U.S. has actually grown into this match. So what I will say is that once we score, this is going to look a little bit different. But I can understand why you feel that way. Let's see. Where are you watching this one? From the fighting town of Flint, Michigan, boss. Big up to Michigan. Let's see. Thoughts on Ricardo Pepi? Is he your striker? No, it's going to be Flo Balogun. Let's see. Are all those chants real that been going around the socials? Good question. As a true American, I put all my money on Germany. Okay. Needs Zendejas, and yeah, Zendejas will probably be a part of today's game as well too. Let's see. Who are your dark horses? Oh, we do have a spam bot. Look at that. Spam. Let's see. Who are your dark horses? Ecuador is one. Switzerland is another dark horse. Japan, potentially. Scotland, maybe. The U.S., definitely. Let's see. Morocco and Brazil. I can't consider Brazil a dark horse. Yeah, but Ecuador for me is a good one. Yeah, I do like. I somewhat like Senegal as well too. Yeah, I think for me, yeah, like Ecuador, Switzerland, Austria is another team that potentially could be a dark horse. Norway, although Norway is great getting forward. Obviously, when you have Erling Haaland, my issue with Norway is their back. Their defense, I'm not exactly sold on their defense. Turkey could also be another one. Yeah, Iran. There you go, right there, Tom. That's a good shout. My issue with Mexico is the fact that, me personally, it's like I feel like Mexico. How do I say this nicely? I feel like Mexico is old in areas where they can't afford to be old, and they're inexperienced in areas where they need a little bit more experience. Like, they actually have a shitty group. They really do. Mexico probably has the worst group next to Canada. So we're not really going to get an accurate assessment of Mexico in group play, but it will be what we will see is when we get to the knockout rounds and how Mexico handles pressure. I'm not buying Mexico. If you ask me, I think Norway probably is a little bit of a better dark horse than Mexico. Let's see. Yeah, Mexico isn't emotional already as a team. Plus, they don't have the. They nearly don't have the talent that they used to have. Who are in your Mount Rushmore of USMNT players? Let's see. Good question. I like. So yeah, Landon, Clint, for sure. Christian, for sure. I like Eric Winalda in there. I like Tab Ramos, for sure. Yeah, Tim Howard. Yep. I like Eddie Pope for as well too. Carlos Bocanegra should be up there. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, Michael Bradley as well too. What I will say is like the U.S. When you really look at the U.S. They really have produced some pretty goddamn good players. Yeah, Wes is going to be remembered, but as an all-time great, I don't know about that. You be real, yo, be real. How far can we get? I have the U.S. getting to a quarterfinal. In all my mocks, I have the U.S. in the round of 32 either playing the Ivory Coast or playing Qatar, who I think that we can beat. Ivory Coast is another dark horse, by the way. And then I like in all my mocks, I have the U.S. facing Belgium in the round of 16. And I really feel like in order for the U.S. to better their last World Cup result, they're going to have to beat a top 15 team, probably a European team in that round of 16 in order to get over the hump and get back to where we feel like where this talent should be. Can I see the U.S. beating a Belgium? Yes. Can I see the U.S. beating Spain in the quarterfinal? No. And that's where I have the U.S. going out, is in the quarterfinal against Spain. But that being said, I mean, if we get to the round of 16 and we lose to Belgium, but it's that match that we saw in 2014, would I be upset? No. Would I be upset? Not at all. I think U.S. fans will look at that too. Like if we go toe to toe and we play a very hard game and just come up short, I think U.S. fans will be okay with that. As play is resumed, as this ball will hit Matt Freese, and Freese now will play it up the right-hand side. As this will come down, here comes Serginho Dest now, flanked by two defenders. As Dest hits the dirt, no whistle. So here comes Germany now, as the asshole Kai Havertz will have possession on the right-hand side. Yes, he's an asshole. He plays for Arsenal. All those dudes are assholes. As it looks like there's going to be a whistle here. I have absolutely no love for Arsenal or PGMOL. Oh, so somebody, oh, you guys are dirty. That's funny. Somebody actually on TikTok here, somebody here on TikTok didn't like that I was picking on Arsenal. So I got I'm only going to be live for another 10 more minutes on on TikTok. Oh, you guys are sweet. Aw. Somebody got their feelings hurt and reported me. Here comes Sane now. And he can't get through traffic. As this ball will make its way back to Matt Freese now. As soon as this goes off, I'll restart up a live feed here on TikTok Live. You guys are just so great. As we are now in the 27th minute, as Tim Ream will have possession here, as the U.S. will make its way forward. And it'll find Miles Robinson here. As the U.S. will work its way down, looks like the left-hand side looks like Christian made a run, didn't get the ball, as that one nearly is taken away by Germany. As Malik Tillman will play it off to Jedi. Here's Christian. Not exactly the greatest touch right there. As this gets turned over as Tyler Adams gets run over. As we are in the 28th minute, Germany does lead 1-0. as Kai Havertz scored a set piece goal in the at the 1 minute 30-second mark, as this one is nearly taken away by Kimmich, by Balogun off of Kimmich, but there's a whistle here as play resumes, as Germany had a quick start, as Tyler Adams last touch. So Germany will have the throw in here as Germany tries to operate a little quicker, as this one will go out. And again, Germany will have the throw in. Arsenal player scoring a set piece? Never. I read somewhere that you guys are getting Senese. Yeah, well, it's not a done deal yet, as this ball will make its way past the end line. So I believe this will be out for a Germany set piece here, a Germany corner, as we are at the 29-minute mark. As Florian Wirtz will be responsible for this corner. It will be a short corner, as here's Wirtz. He'll play this one to the back post, and there's just nobody there because that one will get out. Will get out. Not exactly a great cross into the box by Florian. Not exactly the greatest season for Florian Wirtz at Liverpool. After coming over from Leverkusen, had a hard time integrating into Arne Slot's attack at Liverpool, as this one is turned over by Weston McKennie, as Germany had a pretty good press there off the left-hand side, and there's a takeaway from the United States, as it'll be Jedi, as this one will make its way out of bounds, so it'll be a goal kick for the U.S. I actually rather like Florian Wirtz. I think he's a very, very, very good player. The way Xabi Alonso used him at Bayer Leverkusen, he was absolutely a bulletproof player. You can understand why Liverpool were attracted. What boggled my mind was the fact that Arne Slot used him so far away from goal. Here's Pulisic, as this one will make its way out of bounds. So the U.S. will have a throw in here on the Germany side of the pitch here. Well, I wouldn't say he was trash for Liverpool. Arne Slot just didn't know how to use him. It was the same thing with Xavi Simons, the Spurs. It's like, these are the type of players that you need to play, around goal. You take them away from the 6-yard box, and you completely mute their strengths. And he was playing, essentially asking to hug the touchline, and that's not how you use Florian Wirtz. As this one will be deflected out. I believe the U.S. will have a corner here. Yeah, Arne Slot, his greatest gift to Liverpool was maintaining the same structure that Jurgen Klopp had, and they won the Premier League because of it. And then he wanted to play his style of football, and he didn't have the players for it. As this ball will go in off the corner, as here comes Germany now. It'll be Leroy Sané, as Jedi does a very good job here of taking that one away from Sané. And yeah, there's going to be a whistle, as Tim Ream will go down, as that pass made its way all the way into the mid, and it'll be Kai Havertz who will take him down by the neck. Yeah, Kai, you can get away with it when you're at Arsenal and you have PGMOL in your back pocket, but on the international level, man, come on, man. As we are in the 32.5 minute here in the first half, Germany does lead 1-0. As play resets, as this ball will go all the way out. So not exactly the greatest way to start, get the restart here. So this will be a goal kick for Germany. And I will say that the U.S. has done a good job of growing into this first half. I think Germany did a very good job of starting quick, utilizing their pace, using their physicality. It did catch the U.S. off guard, but the U.S. has done a very good job of just maintaining their composure and playing their way back into it. And they've settled into a nice little rhythm, especially defensively, as Germany is not necessarily getting forward with the ease in which they started. As this one will take a deflection, as Tyler Adams now will play this one back, as Jedi now makes it back to Tim Ream, as Germany tries to close the space, but the U.S. here will give a turnover here. There's a ball into Sane, as Tim Ream does a good job of sliding over and playing that one out of bounds. As we are now pushing the 34th minute. As there is a ball that goes forward, does find Florian Wirtz. As it makes its way back to Kimmich. I wouldn't mind Florian Wirtz in North London with Spurs. There is a rumor that Liverpool is making Cody Gakpo available, as this ball will take a deflection out of the box, as there's Matt Freese off the redirection. I would have no problem if Spurs made a play for Cody Gakpo. That would be a very welcome signing. As we are now in the 35th minute, approaching 35 with the U.S. throw-in. Looks like it's Weston McKennie, as this one will make its way back to Alex Freeman. Freeman, by the way, has had a sensational year, going from Orlando into the national team and then making his way over to Spain with Villarreal. I can't remember the last time a U.S. national team player made his debut appearance, only to parlay that in a move to Spain. That was great. As the U.S. now are pushing forward, here's Pulisic on the right-hand side. Here's Christian, as that one will take another deflection off. Looks like it went off against Jamal Musiala, so Christian now will take the corner here as we are pushing the 36th minute. I realize that my feed is a little slower. I am on the Spanish version on Peacock, so once I get to halftime, I'll try to get this thing caught up as much as possible. As Christian now will swing this one in, as it's going to be headed out. Oh, it's Jedi! Woo! What a goal by the U.S. As Jedi, off the clearance, puts one past Baumann, as the U.S. have equalized here in the 36.5 minute. As we see this again, as Christian puts one in, it looks like Ta tried to head one out. And Anthony Robinson with an absolute bullet, as the U.S. has equalized on a set piece. And now all of a sudden we have ourselves a new game. How do you like that one, Germany? I'm just messing around, guys. I'm messing around. As the U.S. has equalized here, and this is a very, very key goal for the U.S. now, as that's exactly what you want. Momentum going into the half, as this ball will make its way all the way down to Matt Freese, as the U.S. now will have possession. And it feels like over the last 10, 15 minutes, not only has the U.S. grown into this match, but they've also started doing a very good job in possession and in maintaining. And they find the equalizer. All of a sudden, we have ourselves a new ball game, as Sane will take this one away from Christian. Here's Amecha. What a great goal by Jedi. And that's what he does for Fulham. I wouldn't be surprised if at the conclusion of this World Cup, if a team like Manchester United will come in for Jedi, it almost feels like he is bound to end up at United. As much as I hate the idea of any of our players and there's going to be a whistle, no whistle against Pulisic, as that was a back tackle against Pulisic. Here's Balogun. It's a back tackle against Pulisic. And Pulisic is down here. And that was a shitty tackle by Leroy Sané, as we see this again. As that should have been a whistle. As he came around the backside, didn't even get ball. He just got Christian at his feet. And the idea that this ref allowed him to play on is just absolutely insane. As Leroy Sané didn't get any ball. He just got Christian's feet. Unfortunately, I can't believe that there wasn't a whistle there. Let's see. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Sweden will win the World Cup. I wouldn't be like Sweden. Sweden's nice. Their attack is nice with Isak and Gyökeres. Listen, I like Sweden's striker partnership. Their midfield's kind of nice as well too. It's going to be interesting to see how Sweden handles the loss of Kulusevski. The question is whether Sweden will be able to hold up defensively. As Pulisic will play one to the back post. That's a nice little play right there by Baumann, as he did have Freeman. That was a nice little reaction right there by Baumann. But they're going to say that this ball was out for some reason. So I guess Germany will have the goal kick, as Balogun is pressing the issue down that left-hand side. That's a good ball forward. As Germany does fight through some traffic here. As Nathaniel Brown will have to play this one back. As Schlotterbeck will play this one centrally. That's a great pass right there by Schlotterbeck. Here's Kimmich. Does have Sané. Oh, that's a good ball forward. Oh, and Kai Havertz. That's offside. Let's see. Manchester United, USA will bring. What did he say? Let's see. USA will bring the World Cup championship rings. Oh, I appreciate that, Steve. And Manchester United. You know what's interesting is, like, I almost feel sorry for Manchester United, right? They were the best team in the world under Alex Ferguson. And I respected United. I didn't like him, but I certainly respected what he did for United. But, that ball finds an avenue. Dust! And he puts one over the crossbar. Oh, Serginho. But they were impatient with David Moyes. They cycled through so many managers, spent so much money, couldn't get it right. And, they finally were able to stabilize under Carrick. And it's going to be interesting to see how Carrick handles the Champions League next year. But Manchester United certainly played well. And now they're going to give a whistle against Tyler Adams. Okay. Same back tackle, but you give it to Germany, but you won't give it to the United States. I see. Okay. It wasn't a back tackle; it was just a side tackle. But I'm glad it was against Kai Havertz. As play resumes, and by the way, I actually think Kai Havertz is a very good footballer. I just hate his club. That's all. As there's a good takeaway by Freeman off the left-hand touchline. Here's Miles. As this ball gets played back to Freeze. And now Freeze will chip this off to the left-hand side. Here's Jedi. As Jedi trying to dribble out of danger. As this ball will find its way to Tim Ream, and Ream will now play this forward. And Musiala does a good job of stepping in front of it, as Ta will play it back to Ballman. As we are now in the 43rd minute, as Freeman will head this one down, as Ballman tried to find that left-hand side. Here's Pulisic! As Jonathan Ta does a good job of blocking that shot. Great move by Pulisic to create space off the right, as this one will go over. Nice deflection by Jonathan Ta to get in front of it, as this will be a U.S. corner, as it looks like it'll be Malik Tillman, who is a German-born U.S. international playing for Bayer Leverkusen, the second Kusen. As this ball will go in, headed forward and out of play. Yes, I know I'm a little bit behind. That's my broadcast, bud. So we're in the 44th minute now, and no, I'm not British. That goal was a fluke? Okay, bud. Tell me you don't like the U.S. without yeah, I know I'm a little behind. I'll be caught up once we get to the half. As Bauman will play this a little forward, as it'll make its way down to Sane. Jedi steps into it. This will go out of play. And it'll be Germany throwing off the right-hand touchline, as Kimmich will try to play it forward. That's got to be offside, right? As Havertz looked like he was way offside. Guess not. That's a good dribble right there by Tillman, but it's taken away. So Germany here try to get something going with Havertz. As 3 minutes of extra time here at the end of the first half. Germany on the attack here. Here's Wirtz. Slides it over to Musiala. And it's going to be cleared by the U.S. Here's Pulisic now. Down the left-hand side. Good slide tackle right there. As this one will make its way out. So Pulisic will hand this over to Jedi, as we are nearing the end of the first half with the U.S. and Germany tied up at 1, as there is a whistle here, as I don't understand why this is going Germany's way, but all right. Fair enough. I do like the way that the U.S. did respond to that opening goal by Germany. It was, by the way, that was a very excellent free kick, and it was a good goal by Havertz. But I did like the way that the U.S. responded, didn't get down, stayed patient, worked their way into this first half, and were able to work that equalizer. As here's Joshua Kimmich. That ball is going to be taken away by Pulisic. Here comes Pulisic. He does have somebody running across. Pulisic tries to shoot. There's going to be a deflection, so the U.S. again will have another corner. It would have been nice to see if Pulisic would have slotted that over to Balogun. Balogun made a great run off the right-hand side. Yeah, I could. Oh, I see. I see right there. Schlotterbeck did have the step, so if Pulisic tried to slide that one through, there was Schlotterbeck right there. As we are now in the 47th minute, U.S. has the corner. As Malik Tillman will take the corner here for the U.S. As this ball gets whipped in short. Here's Jedi. Here's Christian. Christian will shoot, and that'll take a deflection off. Past the right-hand side, so we'll do this one again. Christian's played pretty well today. As this one will take a deflection off of Schlotterbeck right there. Good defender. As we are nearing the end of the first half. as, again, this ball gets whipped in, headed down, and pops straight up and out of play. So we are now in the 48th minute, so we should be nearing halftime here. And yeah, there it is right there. All right, so we are at the half. Let's go ahead and take a look at the halftime stats. As Germany does lead the possession battle, 52-48. And U.S. have done a very good job of growing back into that first half. Total shots, the U.S. 11, Germany 4. Shots on target, Germany 2, U.S. 1. Big chances, Germany has had 1, and of course they scored off of it. The U.S. has yet to have a big chance. Accurate passes, 200 to 184. Corner battle, the U.S. has had 8 to Germany's 1. Let's see. Shots on target, 11. Shots off target, the U.S. 6, Germany 1. Block shots, the U.S. have had 4 to Germany's 1. Neither team has hit the woodwork. Shots inside the box, the U.S. 7, Germany 2. Shots outside the box, 4-2 for the U.S. When we look at total passes, Germany 232 to U.S. is 211. Passes in the own half, the U.S. 104, Germany 99. Passes in the opposition half, 101 to 80 to Germany. Accurate long balls, 14-9 to Deutschland. Accurate crosses, 2-1 to the United States. 4 throws, Germany 14, the United States 8. Touches in the opposition box, the U.S. 12, Germany 8. And Germany has been offsides to the United States 2. No discipline, no cards have been pulled yet, but fouls committed, the United States 6, Germany 2. On the defensive side of the ball, Germany does lead the tackle battle, 19-18. U.S. does lead the interceptions, 4-3. Germany has 4 blocks to the United States 0. Clearances, U.S. 9, Germany 4. And keeper saves, 1-0 to the U.S. On the duel side, Germany leads the duel battle, 35-28. Ground duels, 27-24 to Germany. Aerial duels, 8-4 again to Germany. Successful dribbles, 4-2 to the United States. The top-rated American so far in this one will be Anthony Robinson, and the top-rated German will be Joshua Kimmich. So there you go. And let me see if I can get this thing a little bit forward here. So thoughts on the first half? I will say that Germany did start this match very excellently. I think they caught the United States extremely flat-footed to a point where the U.S. were just reacting. They gave up a very, very bad foul. Literally 3 or 4 feet outside the 18-yard box. And of course, it was a very good free kick right there from I believe it was Kimmich. Kai Havertz was literally left alone. Absolutely making Miles Robinson looking absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Kai Havertz just heads it home. It's 1-0 Germany at that point. But the U.S., I like the way that they responded. They didn't panic. They didn't get their heads down. They did a very good job of just slowly getting into this match. And sure enough, right there in the 36.5 minute off a corner, Jedi Robinson scores. And all of a sudden we have a brand new game. And now it looks like both of these teams are, this is now going to be a chess match the rest of the way. Both teams essentially came in at full strength, although the U.S. was missing Chris Richards. Yeah. And I think that, where Mauricio Pochettino got this wrong was the inclusion of Miles Robinson. Again, off the mistakes against Senegal, which directly led to a goal. He starts this game with a mistake that directly leads to a goal for Kai Havertz. And from that, one of the things that you cannot do is put yourself in a position where you start the game down 1-0. In the World Cup, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be any more forgiving for the United States. And so I really hope that Mauricio Pochettino has learned that lesson. It's nothing against Miles Robinson, but that being said, you know, it is what it is. Miles has not been the same player since the Achilles injury. I think it was in 2021. He's just not been the same player as far as confidence goes. Has not been the same player. We do have Mark McKenzie. We do have Austin Trusty. And I actually thought this would be a Trusty, McKenzie, Freeman back three, which would have given us our strongest back three. Even if you wanted to start Tim Ream, you could have had Tim Ream a little bit more centrally, with Trusty off the left-hand side and Freeman off the right-hand side. So for me, in the second half, if you want to strengthen that back line, the thing to do is bringing in Mark McKenzie or bringing in Austin Trusty, one of those guys, and the U.S. we can get into the second half. Now, the question for the United States, the Estadios Unidos, is how are we going to approach this second half? Is this going to be a full rotation? We saw this in the match against Senegal, where Pochettino essentially did a 10-man rotation at halftime. And we saw that first 10 minutes of the second half was just wonky because obviously, a whole new group of players that have to get used to each other in a short amount of time. And of course, what's his ass? Sane of Senegal ends up scoring, and it's 2-2, and the U.S. had to work their way in for that winning goal. But I would like to see Pochettino keep this group on the pitch for a good 20-25 minutes to start the second half. At least to see if we can get that second goal before rotation happens, because we are going to see it. Now on the flip side, what is the strategy going to be for Julian Nagelsmann? Is it going to be a rotation as well too? Or is Nagelsmann going to play for the win? Is he going to keep his starters on the pitch for a good 25-30 minutes, maybe get a goal, possibly get two before eventually rotating out? It's I guess what the priority for Germany is going to be. How much does this match necessarily mean for Germany moving forward? Are they in the same boat as the U.S.? So this is literally just about chemistry and building partnerships within the pitch, or is this something where they really want this win to the point where this is the type of momentum that's going to carry them forward into the World Cup? I think it's the same for both teams here. So I'm curious to see exactly what the priority is going to be for not just Pochettino but Nagelsmann as well too. I would probably assume that Germany probably has a little bit better of a bench than ours, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this. What do you want to see in the second half? Especially for those German fans on TikTok, what is your priority for the second half? And how would you approach it? Especially those that, follow the German national team. Let me know how you guys feel on TikTok. Before I begin the second half here, please do me a favor and show the channel some love by hitting that like and subscribe button. Also hitting the notification bell. If you guys are watching on TikTok, I do want to say thank you. The link is in my description, so you guys can head over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button and the like button as well too. Because we are getting close to 500, and I'd like to get there today. So hook a brother up. All right, let's see. How does Nike USA jersey fit? Do they run small? They fit actually quite nice. Actually, they fit nice. Let's see. They're a little tight. Yeah, they run a little tight in the shoulders here, but otherwise pretty good. Did you see Iraq versus Spain? I did. I saw parts of it, not the entire thing. Adams had way too many giveaways. Yeah, a little bit. Early in that first half, he did. I will give you that. Let's see. Germany has 3 starters on the bench and no starting goalie. That's kind of funny. Chris Richards is a great player. He's a Crystal Palace fan. You know what? I am actually a quiet Palace supporter as well too. I've kind of been a Palace supporter since 2010. I do happen to like Crystal Palace. Steve Parrish has done a great job at Crystal Palace. And Chris Richards has a very good home. What I will say about his situation is that I like the fact that Mark Gahey got sold because it forced Chris Richards to step into a leadership role at Crystal Palace. Yeah, I think he stepped into it quite well. I really do. As we are waiting for the start of the second half, let me restart it real quick. All right. We are getting ready for the start of the second half here. Would you give Brady a shot in goal in his hometown? Well, we did see Chris Brady start the second half of the U.S. against Senegal. But it looks like Matt Freese is out there to start the second half. That's quite the hairdo by Jedi, though. That blonde, those blonde curls. So we start the second half here with Jedi playing it out of bounds. I absolutely hate that. I don't understand why teams are starting to do that right off the restart, or essentially just conceding possession. I never understood that automatically just playing it out. I don't understand the concept or the theory behind it, but there's the throw in. As this thing will be taken away by Tyler Adams. Dest pops it. And now it finds its way to Florian Wirtz. As the U.S. nearly took it away. But here comes Kimmich now off the left-hand side. As Germany now are playing it forward. There's acres and acres of space. There's a ball forward. Here's Sané in the box. And they will say last touch by Jedi Robinson. So Germany starts the second half with a corner here. That's not good. As Joshua Kimmich will take this corner here for der Mannschaft. And I'm curious to see how Germany attacks this set piece here. As Florian Wirtz is to the outside as this ball gets swung in. And it'll be headed away. As Sané will try to play one on. That goes wide left. So this will be a goal kick for the United States. There's a quick play out to Miles Robinson. Here's Freeman now off the left-hand side. As Freeman tries to dribble centrally. And there will be a foul there against Emecha. So Freeman wins a free kick here. As Tyler Adams will start this, and it'll be Freeman. Here's McKennie now. On the right side, there was nobody there for McKennie to play it forward. As Adams will have to play this one back. As now Germany is trying to close down the space. Miles Robinson plays a good ball forward. And there's a turnover as Malik Tillman had nowhere to go. There's a turnover for the United States. Here's Ballo. There's a shot. Ooh, good save by Bauman. Oh, and Pulisic. Oh, couldn't score off the rebound. And Tillman puts one over the bar. Oh. Do I call it football or soccer? I call it both. when I'm in England, I call it football, and when I'm in the United States, I call it soccer. It's the same thing. What do I think of Chris Richards? I think he's our best defender, as the U.S. nearly went ahead here. As Bauman will play this one long. Bauman, as Jedi tries to go over the top, as Pulisic has it taken away, as this one will go out of play. So Germany retains possession here. Yeah, I like Palace. I've always liked Palace, and congratulations on winning your European trophy. That's a hell of a 2 years, an FA Cup and a European trophy. Palace fans, Palace supporters should be absolutely buzzing. There's a shot. Ooh, nice save right there by Matt Freese, as Germany found their way down the left-hand side, the right-hand side, as Havertz laid one off. And that was a good shot, but right there was Matt Freese with the save, and now there's a ball down the left-hand side. Good play right there by Jonathan Tah to keep it away. And Bauman will play it long. What do I think of Wolves? I think Wolves are relegated. I feel bad for Wolves. I really do. But they had a fire sale and did nothing to replace the talent that they lost. And yet another American player goes down in the process. No whistle, as that should have been a free kick. This is some uneven refereeing. What do I think about Zendejas coming in? He will be in at some point. Here's McKennie, as this one will go out, so the U.S. will have a throw in here. We're getting Trippier at least. What's my thoughts on Nottingham Forest? It's Forest, man. They are owned by an overzealous Greek. They're okay. They're not great. They're not terrible. I think that under what's his ass, Nuno, I think they overachieved quite a bit. As again, nice takeaway by the U.S. Good recovery by Germany. Here's Havertz against Freeman down the left-hand side. Havertz plays it back. Here's Musiala. Here's Florian, as he lays this one off to Havertz, back to Wirtz, and now they're going to have to retreat, as Kimmich will lay it off to Schlotterbeck, who plays it forward. Good pass right here. Here's Havertz, and that pass backwards finds Sané, but it's going to be deflected and pop back up, so Germany's going to have to retreat. They still hold it in here, as the U.S. has to be careful here. As Schlotterbeck will hold on to that possession, and now they're going to have to retreat all the way back to the halfway line. But here's Jamal Musiala, as he just dribbles around Tyler Adams. And that's a good tackle right there by Weston McKennie. And Jedi will play it forward, finds Pulisic. Pulisic will chop it up to himself, comes down with possession. Oh, good tap right there. And they're going to say last touch by Pulisic. Unreal. As Pulisic with just individual talent right there just to hold possession. As it comes down. And yeah, that was last touch by Kimmich, but Germany gets possession. Okay. This referee is absolutely insane. As the U.S. comes away with it, as McKennie will tap it away, and now they're going to say there's a foul against the U.S. Unbelievable. How is that a foul? I don't get it. Explain to me how that's a foul. This refereeing is interesting to say the least. I'm gonna put on a TS game and see what the ref act like. Well, all you have to do is watch any Arsenal game from the season to understand how bad refereeing is in England. So again, now all of a sudden Germany gets gifted a set piece again from outside the box. US has to stay turned on here. They absolutely cannot not allow Kai Havertz to leak his way into central areas here. Stay turned on, Miles. So here we go. And Sané just puts one over the bar. Thank God. Thank God. That could have been a turning point in this match. Good Lord, man. Who do I think will win the World Cup? France, probably. Do I rate Edmund or Chimbada? Good question. Who do I think will win the World Cup? I've already said that. U.S. never seeing a World Cup. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say never. I think it's wild. I think it's wild to expect, as there's a whistle right here, so U.S. will get the free kick here. I think it's wild to expect that every World Cup. Oh, Christian. Oh, that was such a good ball forward. I think it's that was such a good ball forward into Christian. It just took a heavy touch off his knee. I think it's wild to expect that the same 8 teams are going to continue to dominate. The truth is that nations across the globe are continuously getting better. I mean, look at what Japan has been able to do in the last 35 years, and the way that they have been organized and disciplined. There's a takeaway for the United States, and they're going to call a foul against Pavlovic. That was such a bad. That's a bad call. As Tillman absolutely did not touch him, and Pavlovic just falls, and he gets the whistle. This refereeing is terrible. As the U.S. will come away with the ball, last touch by Germany. You know, you look at Japan and what they've been doing since the mid-90s, and slow and methodical and disciplined. And now Japan is producing some of the world's best players. You look at the United States and Mexico and their continuous development and their continuous growth. And the fact that, you know, as good as England is, there are countries now that have not only caught up to them, but also surpassed them as well, too. So, I mean, it just goes to show you that this game is truly a global game. And eventually you're going to see South American teams besides Argentina and Brazil take that next step. You look at what Ecuador is doing. They have their golden generation right now. Same thing with Colombia. There's a ball around the box and Tim Ream will just play this one out. You know, you look at the growth of Canadian soccer, and there's Chris Richards right there. Yeah, you look at the growth of Canadian soccer, and all of a sudden they're in their second World Cup in 2 tries. So, and Germany just scored. That's a good goal right there by Sané. So Germany just takes the lead. That was a well-worked ball, by the way. As we see it again. As Kai Havertz was just able just to lay it off, and Sané just in traffic will just put one in. Again, past Miles Robinson. It looked like, by the way, that was maybe deflected by Miles Robinson, but Germany's 2 goals came against Miles Robinson today. No, asshole. It's called soccer and football. Australia, South Africa, Canada, different countries do pronounce it, do call it soccer. And to die on that hill is ridiculous in my mind. So after the restart, Germany now leads 2-1. As Leroy Sané finally does get his reward. He has actually been kind of a nuisance down that right-hand side. Here's Serginho Dest, as that's going to take a deflection back to Alex Freeman. But we're now approaching the 60th minute. It's time for that's just a bad ball right there by Alex Freeman. And now there's the turnover, and that ball by Havertz will overshoot Musiala, and now Jedi's going to have to play this one long. As there's a turnover right there, and Serginho just gives it right back. And here comes Germany now as they make the switch to the right side, and there's Matt Freese as that ball was delivered in past the U.S. back line, but Freese was right there. Here come the U.S. It's Balogun. Here's Adams. Good ball into West. Tries to play one forward, looking for Balogun. Too heavy of a through ball right there, as Baumann will pick this one up. As we are now in the 60th, approaching the 60th minute here. Germany leads 2-1. There's a turnover, heavy touch right there by Freeman. And here comes Kai Havertz, lays one off. It's going to be Florian Wirtz. As he sends this one to a center area. Havertz will move it over to Sané now. Sané flicks one forward, but there's Jedi. And his pass forward is taken away by Sané. As Nathaniel Brown now will play it forward. Here's Musiala now. Lays it off. And that's a good save right there by Sané. As Germany now is on the front foot, in control, and there the flag goes up, so it'll be offsides. Steven gives a chant. Steven gives a chant. Steven gives a chant. Steven gives a chant. As it looks like we are going to start seeing some substitutions here for the United States and Germany. So it looks like Sebastian Berhalter, Gio Reyna, Austin Trusty, and Mark McKenzie are coming in. So it looks like there's going to be a back switch, a switch on the double switch on the back line, and it looks like a switch into it. So I will have some of these switches for Germany as Brown comes off, and Raum comes on. Anton is on for Kimmich. And who else? And Undav is on for Havertz. For the U.S., so Pulisic will come off as Gio Reyna will check in for the U.S. Let's see. Trusty will be in for Ream. Yeah. McKenzie in for Robinson. Yep. And it looks like it does look like Berhalter will be in for McKennie. That's kind of what it's looking like here. And I think Jedi's coming off too. And so Berhalter, and I think it's going to be Arfston coming in too. Yeah, he doesn't look that worried. Who do you support? Who do I support? Obviously, the U.S., obviously. Kind of an American here. But my club teams are Spurs and Seattle. As play is going to be resuming here, as the switches have been made, as Freeze will play this one long. As that one takes a That one takes a bounce. So here comes Germany now. That's a good play right there. And that'll go out of play. So the U.S. will have a throw-in. Who is that number 22 fella for Germany? Oh, David Raum. Okay. David Raum. Okay. Dude, you know what the best part about TikTok is the trolls. I'm fueled off of English tears as that ball will make its way up. And here's Mark McKenzie now as Tyler Adams will play one off. So this will be a U.S. throw-in. You would be a good commentator. Thank you, Mikey. Do you think you are getting out of the groups? Yeah, I think we're probably going to win it. The match really that's the match of the group will be U.S. versus Turkey, obviously, for obvious reasons. So we're the two best teams in the group. The thing about Paraguay is that Paraguay and Australia are two teams that love to bunker and counter, and the U.S. has too many weapons moving forward not to be able to break through their bunkering. So don't get me wrong. I think that both Paraguay and Australia play the game really hard, and I certainly don't overlook them. But if we're being honest, the U.S. should be going into that match against Turkey on 6 points. Am I fully expecting us to be on 6 points by the time we get to Turkey? And even if we lose, I'm perfectly okay with it. Really, the interesting thing about this tournament is the fact that 3 points gets you through the group. You know, even if we draw all three, we still move on out of the group, but that's not going to happen. As this ball gets played forward, as Tim Ream will play it off to McKenzie, as Musiala comes away with it. Here's Florian Wirtz now. Nice ball over. As Wirtz will hand it off. There's a shot that's going to go very, very wide and right. No, it's actually really easy to watch the Premier League. Premier League is essentially on 3 streaming services. It's actually really easy to watch the Premier League. Same with the Championship as well, too. It's criminal that the U.S. have the World Cup. We've had it before. What's funny is I love all the complaining from English fans. It's like, you know, the World Cup has been in Brazil and the U.S. in '94, and it's been in South Africa. It's been in areas where your time, the time differences have very much inconvenienced you, but it's just because it's in America now. You're all like, oh my God, it shouldn't be there. It's like, get off of it, dude. You guys aren't that entitled. I remember when it was in Korea, Japan, and I would wake up at 2:00 in the morning to watch my team. It's like, it is what it is. As this one gets played out. So the U.S. will have a throw in here. It's funny how you guys feel like you're entitled. It looks like the U.S. are making more switches here. No, I just love the insecurity of the English. The entitlement of thinking that they own the game. They certainly invented it, but it doesn't belong to them. And it hasn't belonged to England since 1966. As this ball will get played over the top, as Freeman couldn't handle it, so Germany now will try to clear it. Berhalter does a good job of playing it back in, and it does find Malik Tillman. Here's Tyler Adams, makes its way all the way to the left-hand side. As Trusty will play it off to Tyler Adams. Here's Timmy Ream. All the way to McKenzie now. What are we going to do, fellas? Eventually, we're going to have to get the ball forward, right? I mean, just a thought. I mean, it's complete English insecurity because they know they're not the best team in the world. And the reality is the FA is the problem with England. And the FA has been a problem with England. You know, they win it in 66, and they win it in 66 and they stick with Alf Ramsey in 70. Okay, that's fine because you're defending it. No problem. But instead of refreshing the squad, Alf Ramsey takes a very old England team to Mexico in 70. They have a bad tournament. And instead of bringing in a new coach, England doesn't qualify for 74. And then instead of hiring Brian Clough, they bring in Don Revie, who is not a well-liked coach. And, you know, Revie makes bad decisions with the squad. And then they have another opportunity to bring in Brian Clough, and then they bring in what's his name? You know, at least they got it right with Bobby Robson. You know, but then they replace Robson with Graham Taylor. They don't go to the 94 Cup. You know, they did solid by bringing in Terry Venables, but that didn't work out. And then they bring in Sven-Goran Eriksson when they actually have their golden generation, right? They needed somebody that played to the strengths of the sum of their parts. Like, you know, that those England teams in the 2000s were supremely talented. And they needed a coach that understood exactly how to organize it and also get the best results with those players. And they have Sven-Goran Eriksson. No disrespect to Sven, who is no longer with us, but you know, and then they hire Fabio Capella. The funny thing though is they actually get a very good coach in Gareth Southgate, and then they run him off. And it's funny, the thing about Gareth Southgate is the narrative was that England was playing with the handbrake on. And then when you look at Gareth Southgate's tenure and you look at his numbers compared to managers of the past, and his England team scored the third most goals in tournament play and conceded the second fewest. And it's like, you know, Gareth Southgate got the very best. And it was, they go to two finals, couldn't get over the hump. But the reality is, you know, the fans put the pressure on the FA to, you know, to make a change when really all they just needed to do is continue with Gareth Southgate. Southgate wasn't the problem. As play is going to be resumed here because of the second half hydration break. So here comes Ricardo Pepi, and it looks like Max Arfson's coming in. It looks like Joe Scally's coming in, Brendan Aronson, Christian Roldan, and it looks like Timmy Weah is coming in for the United States. So the U.S. are making wholesale changes across the board here. Not bad. England need to just start becoming the physical team that bullies technical teams. Yeah, that would be a start. You know what's funny is that, it's funny that you guys, like England fans, are still taking that approach when Gareth Southgate took you to two finals of the Euros and made you guys relevant again. And it's like, he sucks. And it's like, yeah, that's England. That's England for you in a nutshell. And there's a good ball forward looking for Timmy Weah. And it looks like Rahm does a good job of hitting that one out. So the U.S. will have a throw in here. Of course, playing on behalf of Israel. What? I still think it's horrendous that Luna was not picked. I think it was right taking Centeos over Luna. The funny thing is, like, England actually is good. They're very good. The funny thing is, like, Erling Haaland was born in Leeds, and you know the funny thing, I was seeing it today, like, you know, England actually could have had an unbelievable strike partner. Some of those guys that were born in England that are playing for different. Oh, that's a ball to the other side. Oh, Ooh, nice save right there by Matt Freese. Nice assist right there by Austin Trusty of directing the ball towards Freese. Looks like Freese is going to take a foot off the head right there. As Jamal Musiala pushes down Christian Roldan. As that ball went right past Max Arston, but good heads-up play right there by Austin Trusty. Is Roldan my boy? Well, he certainly plays for my team. It's nice when your team gets represented with call-ups to a World Cup, but would I have been a little bit happier if Tanner Tessman or Aiden Morris were on the team? Yeah, a little bit, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and say that he didn't deserve the opportunity. I think his play with Seattle certainly earned him the right to be in a position to get called in, but as Germany now will hold possession. As the U.S. will come away with possession here. Austin Trusty will play this up the left-hand side here, as Arpston will have to play it back. The backup left wing back position is something crazy. The depth at that position outside of Jedi is not exactly fantastic, right? John Tolkien gets hurt, which is the obvious backup. He gets hurt, although, here comes Ricardo Pepi. He's going to play one across. As Pepi finds Arpston, plays it forward. Here's Gio trying to dribble forward in traffic, retains possession. Gio, and that shot just doesn't have any power, as there was Baumann. The remainder of the guys, guys like Christopher Lund, haven't really gotten a really solid opportunity. The guy that should have been on this World Cup squad was Gianluca Busio of Venezia. That kid, that dude is solid. And I probably would assume that he's going to get a move this summer. Although Venezia are going to be in Serie A this year, as Busio was one of the biggest reasons for their promotion. But, they're a Serie A yo-yo team. As that ball will take a deflection, Germany will come away with it. As we are now in the 76th minute, 15 minutes do remain here in the second half, plus stoppage time. Germany does lead 2-1. As all the things that the U.S. did well towards the end of the first half to get back into this one, it really seems like they've kind of let their foot off the gas again. And unfortunately, you can't do that with a team like Germany. As this ball will find its way back to Matt Freese. As Freese will play this down the right side, but that's taken away. And here comes Germany. Good ball out. Here's Rom in the box. Plays one in. There's Matt Freese. Good save by... Yeah. Here's Rom again. After the turnover, there's a shot that's going to go very wide. It was kept in and chipped to the back post, but it goes over. So it'll be a U.S. Goal kick here. As there's going to be a whistle here. So Germany will have the Germany will have the free kick here. Let me just take a look here. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know it. I know it is. That's funny. I think Southgate would do well to revitalize the soccer program nationally for either Ireland or Scotland. I like Gareth, but I don't think he is a manager that's meant to coach a bigger nation. Yeah, possibly. But that being said, it's like you can't disregard the fact that since winning the World Cup in '66, England has either not qualified, or when they do qualify, they savagely underachieved. And Gareth Southgate, while maybe his World Cup results weren't great, but look at his record in the Euros. I mean, he gets to 2 finals in 2 straight Euros and loses one in a shootout in a game they could have won. And then personally, I thought they were actually very competitive in the second one as well too. I mean, the results are what they are. England played at their very best under Southgate. And, when you look at their goals for versus conceded, his 3 Lions statistically are some of the best versions of England they've had, since winning the World Cup and previous iterations of England before that. I don't think he gets enough appreciation. And I also think that English fans, have maybe too big of an ego or expectations when it comes to tournament play, acting like it's club soccer, club football. So the reality is it's like, I do hear what you're saying, and it would be interesting though, right? Because I think he probably might be a better fit for Scotland, maybe even a better fit at Wales, just because I think the player pool is a little bit better. And I also think both of those nations do a better job of developing players. Ireland is an interesting one, though. Ireland is an interesting nation. Yeah, okay. And it looks like Germany's making some switches here. As looks like Leon Goretzka is coming in, Bayer is coming in for Wirtz. So we're pushing the 80th minute here, as Stiller comes in for Pavlovic. It looks like Amecha is coming off as well too. So it looks like both teams' reserves are going to finish this one out here. As the U.S. are only trailing by 1, they have 10 minutes to find the equalizer. This one will go out, so the U.S. will have a throw in here. And I'm okay. That's the reality is these are these really are friendlies, and as this one will make its way all the way to the left. Here's Max Arfston. Arfston will play one in a central area. It gets cleared out, held on by Scally. He's going to throw one in. That's going to require a save right there. So the U.S. will get a corner here. Nice heads-up play by Joe Scally. But what I will say is that from the play of this one, both teams treated it like a friendly. This wasn't really an intensive game. Not a lot of tackling. I think both teams were not going to put their players at risk as this ball gets swung in and it's immediately gets cleared out, as Arfston will play it forward. Here's Berhalter, as that one will stay in. Berhalter centers it, as it'll find its way out. Here's Timmy Weah, and I think they're going to say this one went out. Just got the Pulisic Cup from McDonald's. I didn't even know they had Pulisic Cups. There you go. This live stream was brought to you in part by Mountain Dew and ESPN. All right. Nice one, JD. as Germany will have the goal kick here. Yeah, like I figured that this would play out the way it did. Both teams were going to protect their, make sure their players got protected. No one was going to risk injury in this one, and I thought both teams relatively accomplished what they came in to do. As Arston tried to play it forward. Germany now on the counter. Oh, nice ball. There's a shot that is going to go wide of the far post. As a Cub fan, did Haji Wright play? No, he did not play. I thought Haji would probably play today. And by the way, congratulations on your guys' promotion. That was a very good season for Coventry. I'm actually excited to see what Coventry does in the Premier League. As we're now in the 83rd minute, as Hamzic is in the TikTok chat with his German flags. Good for you, Hamzic. England fan here. What's your expectations for the U.S. this World Cup? Quarterfinal. I think that would be a good result for the U.S. For England, I actually have England in the finals. I like England. I really do. I'd like to see what Harry Kane does for his final World Cup. I also would like to see Jude Bellingham just ball out of control for one World Cup from start to finish. As this makes its way over to the right-hand side here. Am I going to go live throughout the tournament? Yeah, for the most part, but I will be in Seattle for the U.S. versus Australia. So that's the only weekend, I guess you can say, the match weekend, because I'll be there for a few days before I come back. But outside of that, yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of World Cup games. So on the channel, obviously the U.S. I might do some Canada games. I'll be doing England, Scotland. I'm going to be doing some Netherlands games as well too. Depending on the opponent, I might do some Spain games. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm kind of low key rooting for Scotland to do well. With the expanded format, third place teams will come out. So, if Scotland gets 3 points, they might make it out of their group. I don't know. There's something gritty about Scotland that I like. As there's a call on the whistle. So Germany will get the restart here, as this one will bounce forward all the way back to freeze. So we are in the 85th minute here, as Germany does lead 2-1 here. Goals by Kai Havertz and Leroy Sané, as that one will make its way out. Good deflection right there by Germany. Now it looks like not only did Scotland make it through customs, but they made it all the way to the New England area. So the Tartan Army will be in full force. So there you go. As here comes Arkston down the left-hand side. And he'll just lay this one back off to Austin Trusty. There was no reason for Arston to lay that one off. The play was to progress the ball forward to Brendan Aronson. As there's the switch to the left-hand side, and he finally does find Brendan. Here comes Aronson. Now he's got the overlap with Arston. Here's Aronson. Aronson will take a shot. Ooh, nice save by Bauman. Arston let it rip. What a good shot right there by Aronson. So this will be a corner here for the U.S. Late corner, as Sebastian Berhalter will take it. Congratulations to Sebastian. as he gets a move to England, as he will make the move to Derby County after the World Cup. This one will swing in. It'll be headed out. There's a shot that's going to take a deflection from Gio Reyna. Brendan Aronson will retreat to get it. Here's BA, the man from Leeds. Here's Gio. There is a shot that's going to go well over the crossbar. Let's see. Yep. So Sebastian Berhalter has reported today that he will make the move to Derby County in the championship. He'll be a Ram. So congratulations to Sebastian Berhalter, as he rightfully deserves a move away, as he's essentially been Major League Soccer's best midfielder for like about a year and a half now. He has certainly earned the opportunity to make that move across the pond. So he will be at Derby County in the championship, and considering the year that Derby just had, they were already right there in the thick of things for the promotional push with the playoffs. And now all of a sudden they get a fairly underrated killing midfield in Sebastian Berhalter. So I'm looking forward to watching Derby County next year. And of course they got Patrick Ajamang as well too, who had a very good year for Derby County before the injury. So as Arpston now will have to lay this one back, as we are now in the 88.5 minute now. As that ball will go up the left-hand side. And it's retrieved by Germany, as Baumann will play this long. Trusty will head it forward. As there is going to be a whistle, as the U.S. will retain possession here. So we're in the 89th minute now. That's a good touch right there. Here come the USA. And that's taken away by Germany. And I think that will go against the U.S. It'll be a yellow card, yeah. Who will do the best out of the host countries? It's too early to say, because all three groups are going to be winnable for all three host countries. I think Canada won't win the group, but they'll get through. That's a bad group. I think Mexico has the weakest of all three. I can see Mexico winning their group. The U.S. will win their group. All three advance, but it's all gonna come down to who's going to be set up in that round of 32. Great question. Canada is going to be sneaky, man. I think of the three, most just expect Canada to do the worst, but Canada plays hard, and they actually have some pretty solid players. Are they world class? No, but they work incredibly well together. Their chemistry and their organization is good. And they had a nice little run to the semifinal in the Copa in 2024. There's a ball that's going to go forward, as Brendan Aronson nearly came away with it. Good defense right there by Germany. But I will say that I think Mexico, and now there's a scrum between Timmy Weah and Nico Schlotterbeck. As the U.S., they're talking shit to Germany right there on the touchline. And Mauricio Pochettino is involved as well too. As we see it again, Weah came in, made a good tackle against Rom. Got all ball. And apparently, Schlotterbeck didn't like the way that Timmy came in on Rom. So Tim Weah gets the yellow card, apparently. What are you going to do? Any danger of these pitches being better? Nah, I'm not going to give a U.S. chant. Oh, does Rom have a lightning bolt on his neck? Yeah. 6 minutes of added time here, as we are at the end of regulation here. As this ball will make its way to McKenzie, who plays it off to the right-hand side. Here's Berhalter with a chip forward. Last touch by Germany. As Sebastian will lay it off to Timmy Weah, as he's going to play one forward. Here's Joe Scally working against Schlotterbeck. He actually wins it. As this will be a throw-in for the U.S. Here's Saba, as he will lay this one off to McKenzie. Here's Trusty now off the left-hand side. Max Arfston just makes me mad. Here's Christian Roldan. As there's going to be a whistle there. And that's a good move around the corner. Ball in. That's going to get cleared right away, as that'll make its way out of bounds. So this will be a throw-in for the U.S. You know what's funny, though, is that England and the United States have met up 5 times in World Cup play, and 5 times England has failed to beat the United States. We actually hold one of the greatest World Cup upsets in 1950, when a group of amateurs and semi-pros, dishwashers and dock workers, beat England 1-0 in the 1950 World Cup. And that was a good England team, too, when they showed up to Rio in 1950. And they got beat by a bunch of dishwashers. And I find it funny that the wannabe trolls in the group, it's in the group chat. It's kind of funny. Easy, mate. Easy. We were in a group with England in 2022 with Wales and England, and Iran or whatever, and we were the better team against England. Couldn't get over on us. Can't get over on us. As this one will make its way down the left-hand side. That's a good, not exactly the greatest ball in, as that'll get past the end line. As that gets out. As we're in the 95 plus 30. As this one is near the completion here. Only Germany. Only Germany. As this one is near completion here, as this one will go all the way out. So U.S. will have a throw-in. As we are now in the 96th. As there it is. As this one goes complete, Germany will hold on for a 2-1 victory, as that is your farewell final. As the U.S. now will head into the World Cup. Two solid performances, 1 win, 1 loss. Nothing really to it. As let's see. Dan said, Steve, will the Rose Bowl's Pasadena Stadium? No, it will not be. So there you go. So the U.S. fall 2-1 to Germany today. Not exactly anything really that should be overly concerning. Again, Maurizio Pochettino. makes heavy rotation in the second half. What I will say is that by and large, Germany benefited from the inclusion of Miles Robinson in this one. Didn't have a good performance. Both goals coming off, essentially a couple mistakes by Miles Robinson. Of course, couldn't hold his position as Kai Havertz and Leroy Sané will get those 2 goals for Germany. But by and large, I thought the United States accomplished everything that they needed to today, which was, again, hammering down that consistency within their starting 11, and I thought they accomplished it. I thought in certain moments the United States looked good. They got a very good goal off a set piece from Jedi, which was, in my opinion, was a brilliant goal. I thought Christian looked good today. I thought his movement was good. He was able to utilize space, get free. And I get, big credit to Jonathan Tah for getting his foot in front of that, because, Christian had a good look at that one. But overall, man, you have to be pleased with the US's mentality in this one, because, you go down in the first minute and a half and you can literally lose yourself in those moments. And I thought US did a very good job of staying patient, and then they played their way back into it. And I thought that they were the better team heading into halftime. But coming out of the break, Germany was able to take advantage of a little bit of an open space, and it was a well-worked ball between Kai Havertz and Leroy Sané. And, that shot, it is what it is. But overall, I thought these 2 games were good. Am I pleased with this result? No, it is what it is, man. It's a friendly, and it was played like a friendly. So from that standpoint, I'm okay with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats today. Brought to you in part by Kirkland, Signature Soda Water. You can find it at your nearby Costco. Let's see. Same old bull crap come up short. Yeah, like it is what it is, man. It's a friendly. The U.S. did win the possession battle, 52-48. They did win the shot battle, 16 total shots to Germany's 12. U.S. and Germany both put 4 shots on target. Germany had 1 big chance to U.S.'s none. Accurate passes, the U.S. 396, Germany 363. Yellow cards, Germany had, we'll get to those. Corners, we'll get to those as well, too. All right, so total shots, 16-12. Shots off target, 7 to the U.S. to 6 is Germany. Shots on target, 4-4 each. Block shots, the U.S. 5, Germany 2. Neither team hit the woodwork. Shots inside the box, the U.S. 5 to U.S.'s 8 to Germany's 5. Shots outside the box, U.S. 8, Germany 7. Passes, the U.S. 477 to 444. Accurate passes, 396 to the U.S. to Germany's 363. Passes in the own half, 202 to 164. Passes in the opposition half, 199 to Germany to U.S.'s 194. So that was pretty goddamn close. Accurate long balls, 25-18 to Germany. Accurate crosses, the U.S. had 3 to Germany's 2. Throws, 25-24 to Germany. Touches in the opposition box, 24-19 to Germany. And offsides, Germany had 4 to the U.S.'s 3. Yellow cards, Germany had 3 to U.S.'s 1. Neither team got a red. Fouls committed 11 to 10 to the United States. On the defensive side, the tackle battle was won by Germany, 30-28. The U.S. did win interceptions, 12-5. Blocks, 5-1 to Germany. Clearances, 16-11 to the United States. And keeper saves, 3-2 to Germany. On the duel side, Germany won that one, 61-53. Ground duels, 49-47. Aerial duels, 12-6 to Germany. And successful dribbles, 9-8. The top-rated German player today was Kai Havertz at an 8.6 and Anthony Robinson at a 8.0. Let's see. Germany is irrelevant. They're not winning anything. Bro Cope. I'm not a Germany supporter, so whatever. Let's see. Freeze should be disgusted by the second goal. That hour stretch was good, though. Well, Yeah, I can understand why you say that. I can understand why you say that. To me, that second goal looked like it was deflected a little bit by Miles Robinson. It would be interesting to see what would happen had Robinson not touched it a little bit. But I think you're a little bit right. I guess the question for you, Rich Rod, is, is Matt Turner getting to that ball? I don't know either, right? So it almost felt like it may have been in no man's land. I don't know. Let's see. Derpy the 501st 2 says overall the energy is where it should be. The defense is still a concern. Yeah, and again, I have been vocal. I can understand why Mauricio Pochettino put Miles Robinson back out there, because when you have that type of game where you have those mistakes, and Miles Robinson made a lot of mistakes in that first game, mistakes that led to a legit goal right after the mistake, right? So you put him back out there as a confidence builder, as a confidence booster, because you want to make sure that everybody goes into the World Cup confidence high, right? And so I can understand why he put him back out there. But a minute and a half into the game, he loses Kai Havertz on a set piece, where all credit to Germany, because they started the game correctly. We were caught a little flat-footed to begin the match, and so they get a penalty. They get the foul right there, right outside the box, and and Kimmich puts a good ball in, and Miles Robinson, Kai Havertz, that's his man. That's Miles Robinson's man right there, and Kai Havertz was untouched, unmarked for that header a minute and a half into the game, and so Miles Robinson, that's his man to pick up, and he didn't even get off the line. And then, of course, in that second goal as well, too, that ball again, the Miles Robinson's job is to step into space to deflect that shot from Leroy Sané, and he was again caught flat-footed, and Germany scores that second goal. So I was expecting a back three of Trusty, McKenzie, and Freeman, because I thought that would be the best combo three to start this match. And I thought that this would be a rotation where Tim Ream starts on the bench, and Tyler Adams wears the captain's armband to start. And I thought, the first 10, 15 minutes, I didn't think anybody really played all that well to start the match. But what I will say is that, again, the U.S. grew into that game, and I thought they were the better team heading into the halftime break. I didn't think both teams really played all that well to start the second half. And, Germany gets that goal, but I certainly didn't think that Germany finished great. I didn't think we finished great either. It seemed like it was kind of a meh type of friendly. But what I will say is, I think Derpy's right. The overall energy is where it needs to be. And I think that was the whole purpose of these two friendlies. And by the way, what I will say is that historically speaking, in these send-off games, we have lost a few heading into a World Cup. I know that we lost to, who did we lose to? I think it was the Netherlands we lost to in 2002. And then, of course, we go to the World Cup. We beat Portugal in that first match, and then we go to the quarterfinal. We've also won matches, and there's no correlation between these games and what we do in the World Cup. Let's see, but all credit to Germany. I thought they got the goal that mattered. So I guess congratulations. I wouldn't say that we went toe to toe with Germany. This game was a nothing game where both teams were trying to avoid injuries. So let's see. Is Germany that bad? I follow Stuttgart. Undev, Stiller, and Lueling are all beasts, and they are going off the bench. Looks like it. So the funny thing about this is, Rich Rod, and Germany is interesting too, because they win the World Cup in 2014. I believe that was their fourth title. And they get grouped in the preceding two World Cups, 2018, 2022. And both of those squads were relatively old. And the interesting thing about it is I was kind of curious about Germany myself, right? Because historically speaking, Germany always has that next wave going into the next cycle. And they always had good coaches. That Germany was always known for its discipline. Germany was always known for its beautiful football. And, there's a reason why, they win World Cups. But the interesting thing about the last two cycles is they didn't necessarily have that next wave that came into that group. The guys that they brought into the group, some of them were good, some of them not so good. And the results are what they were. And over the last year and a half, 2 years since the Euros, they're beating the teams that you expect them to beat, right? So their last five against, I guess you can say non-top 15 opponents, they beat Finland, who are the 75th ranked team in the world. They beat Ghana, who are the 73rd ranked team in the world, which is kind of astonishing. They beat Switzerland, although that one was a 4-3 victory. So they concede 3 against Switzerland. They're the 19th ranked team of the world. Pretty decent opponent. Switzerland is a dark horse team, in my opinion. They're always a solid team. Do they have match winners? No, but they're very disciplined, and they're capable of beating anybody on their day. Then they beat Slovakia by 6, and then they beat Luxembourg, and it's okay, they're beating the teams that they're supposed to be beating. But then against the top 10, the opponents were the German fans expect them to be competitive with, that think of themselves as one of those type of teams, those best teams in the world. They get beat by France 2-0. They get beat by Portugal 2-1. They draw against Italy, an Italian side that is a mess. They do beat the Netherlands 1-0. Then they draw with Netherlands, and then they lose to Spain. And in these fixtures against the best teams in the world, they score 8 and concede 11. So it's hard to really figure out what this German team is. And when in the context of the World Cup, and when you look at the fact that this is an expanded World Cup, there is no group of death. You look at their draw and you're like, okay, can Germany come out of this group? Well, yeah, they can, because all you need is 3 points to get out of the group in this tournament, right? So Germany is getting out of the group, but what are they going to do against opponents that are either equal to or better? We don't know. And by the way, if they get out of the group, okay, but if they go out early in the round of 32 or the round of 16, again, this will be a very underwhelming, underachieving showing again for Germany. Do I dare say that Germany are frauds? Well, I don't want to say that yet. But right now, Germany, I believe they're the 10th ranked team in the world right now. I think they are. Would you say they do the same as the Ivory Coast? Yeah, that's a very good question. The Ivory Coast, that's a good question. Would I think that I want to say that Germany might be a better team than the Ivory Coast, but we'll find out once we get past the group stage. That's the deceiving part about this upcoming World Cup, is because of the expanded tournament. We're going to see the teams that I think we are going to expect to see, right? You're going to see the heavies move past the group stage. But when it comes to the success of Germany, me personally, I would think that the German fans expects a quarterfinal or better. Like the minimum is a quarterfinal, all the way to winning the damn thing. I don't see Germany getting to a quarterfinal. Do I support a club team? Yeah, I do. Let's see, can see us going out in the quarters, and that would be a bad result. I think the English fans are vastly underrating their own squad. Rich Rod says we must get 9 points in the group stage, dominance into the knockout rounds. That would be ideal. For the U.S., there is no correlation between these two friendlies and what we're going to see in the World Cup. It is a favorable group for the U.S., and because we are a home team, I expect the U.S. to get very good support, and I expect the U.S. to be able to beat Paraguay. We saw Paraguay this last fall, and when we saw Paraguay, we saw a good portion of the players that we are going to see coming up. And I have a feeling that the U.S. will handle their business. Same thing with Australia. I'm expecting the U.S. to be on 6 points when they face Turkey. I think that is going to be the litmus test for this U.S. team. A Turkey team that showed itself very well in Euro 2024, but it's also a Turkey team that doesn't necessarily make a lot of World Cups. It's interesting too. But that being said, Kiernan Yildiz and Arda Güler, very good footballers, man. Very good footballers. That is a team that is very well organized, and of course, we saw them right before the Gold Cup, and we got our doors blown off by Turkey. But again, this is going to be something completely different. And if we finish that match with a draw, I'll be okay. But that being said, I would expect it's going to come down to this match to decide the group. I think it would be foolhardy to expect Paraguay or Australia to help us out by beating them. But that being said, it is what it is. What I will say is that the U.S. will get out of the group. And I expect us to, at the very least, get to the round of 16, because the teams that we're going to see in the round of 32, we will be better than. Not to say that we won't, they won't give us a game. They will, but I expected us to at least get to the round of 16, and it's going to be at that stage. So that's the biggest thing. I get this question all the time, like what would be an ideal result for this team? If you guys remember back in 2022, we were the second youngest team in the field, and it was a team full of first time World Cup appearances, and we were in a group of Wales, England, and Iran, and I think that at least to the conservative U.S. men's national team fan was, if we can be in a position where we can at least pick up 3 points somewhere and, get a draw and put ourselves in a position to advance, I think that would be okay, considering that it is a very, very, very young team. And I think we overachieved by getting out of the group. We played well against Wales in a match where we probably should have won. We gave up a bad penalty. Gareth Bale took advantage of it. I thought we played better than England in a match where we drew. We had our chances, didn't take them. England had their chances, they didn't take them. And we beat Iran. And we were able to get to the round of 16, where a very experienced Netherlands team beat us 3-1. And so what would be the next logical step for this team? What is the the benchmark for this U.S. team, which is considered the golden generation. Personally, I think our World Cup squad from 2007 to 2012 really kind of was our golden generation, but I digress. But it is beating a top 15 team when it matters. The biggest issue with this team when it was under Greg Berhalter was that we were kings of CONCACAF. Inside our confederation, we were the best team in our region. And it also coincided with some of the worst Mexico teams that I've ever seen. And Canada was on the come up. But we still took thank you very much, Finn. Greetings from Germany. You played very good. Thank you very much. We were able to reel off 3 straight Nations League titles. I think we won a couple Gold Cups as well too. And we were the best team in CONCACAF. The problem with Greg Berhalter's U.S. men's national team was the fact that we couldn't beat anybody outside of it. We didn't have a signature win in the Greg Berhalter era. I would probably say that if you had to ask, maybe that probably was Iran in the World Cup where we beat them, and that was probably it. It's no coincidence that that coincided with a Copa America where we didn't make it out of the group stage. And so from that standpoint, eventually we're going to have to lay down a marker when it matters. And that would be where this team takes the next step. We've only won one group stage knockout round in our modern USMNT history. That happened in 2002 against Mexico. We were lucky enough to get Mexico in that round of 16, and we nearly beat Germany if it wasn't for a handball that didn't get called. But that is the mark of this U.S. men's national team, which is getting to the round of 16, and then whoever we're matched up against, if it's Belgium, if it's Germany, if it's whoever it is, because we're not going to be in the draw where we're going to get Argentina. We're not going to be in the draw where we're going to get France, England. We're not going to get any of those teams. It's going to be, in my mock-ups, it's going to be Belgium. And so it's a team that we're familiar with. It's a team where we know their personnel. They know our personnel. And it's going to be a game where we're going to finally have to win that match, that signature match in the round of 16. Now, that's where I have us going out after if we can get to a quarterfinal, we'll get Spain. I don't think we're going to beat Spain, but if we can be the top 15 when it matters, a top 15 team when it matters, I think most U.S. men's national team fans will be happy getting to a quarterfinal in a home World Cup. I think that would be acceptable. What wouldn't be acceptable is going out in the round of 32. I think that would be considered a failure. And at that stage, where do we go from there? But I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let's see. Rich Rod says Canada is big on ghosting in big tournaments. That's going to be interesting because I think a lot of people, especially American fans and Mexican fans, when I get asked, of the 3 home nations that's going to not do well, most will say Canada. And I'm like, I don't know about that because Canada's got a good team. Are they chock full of world-class talent outside of Alphonso Davies? No. They've got good talent. Jonathan David is one of the best strikers in CONCACAF. Moises Bombito, their center back pairing is pretty good. And one of the things is that they're very well coached and they're very well organized and they play hard. And one of the things that I like about Canada is that they don't quit. They are what we used to be. Like, that is something that Jesse Marsch has done a very good job of installing. They are a very hard team to beat. Now, the question with Canada is, are they going to be able to score goals consistently? That's something that has yet to be unanswered. But what I will say is that I think Canada gets out of their group, just like I think Mexico gets out of their group. But when it gets to the round of 32 or the round of 16, is Canada, are they going to be able to have that match winner? And are they going to be able to, to get that key goal when they absolutely need it? That's something that I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. But what I will say is Canada did a very good job in Copa America 2 years ago, getting to a semifinal. Didn't necessarily show that well in the Nations League and the Gold Cup, but we also didn't show well in the Nations League and lost to Mexico in the final in the Gold Cup. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's see. Yeah, I do not think Miles Robinson will see the field next week. No. I have a feeling that we will see Chris Richards. We will see Chris Richards in the World Cup. How long have I been watching football? Since 1988. Yeah. Cool. What do I think about Zendejas? I like Zendejas. I think he's on this roster for a reason, because he has the ability to score goals when you need him to. Mexico wishes it was Argentina. Dude, that's funny. That was good. That was good. You guys are funny. Best player for the USA? That's a good question. Form-wise, probably Weston McKennie, but obviously it's Christian. Arfston played okay. Pulisic and Reyna disappointing as usual. McKennie is our star. I thought Pulisic actually played pretty well today, if I'm being perfectly honest. His movement was really good. What does Brazil need to win? Brazil just has to beat Brazil, right? Like, Brazil has good players. Now, do they have, by the way, does Brazil have the same world-class talent that they used to have? No, but they're still good. And they got Carlo Ancelotti. Brazil just has to do what Brazil is capable of doing, and they'll be good. My problem with Brazil is that they figure out a way to bottle it. They're not the same. They're not the same Brazil. So what's the starting squad game one? All right. It's going to be game one. It's going to be as of right now. I'm going to say it's Matt Freese in goal, but it wouldn't surprise me if Matt Turner got the start. My back three is going to be Ream, Richards, and Freeman. I think my midfield four is going to be Jedi, Adams, McKinney, and Dest, Pulisic, and Tillman, and Balogun up top. That's my starting. All right, but I'm going to call it good, guys, and it was what it was today, the U.S. losing 2-1. I will be back. I think I'm going to be back tomorrow because I want to do a show on the rivalry between the U.S. and Canada. But this upcoming week, I'm going to be doing a pre-match. Build-up for the U.S. and Paraguay as we set the stage for the start of World Cup 2026. I might do a breakdown show, although I've already done a World Cup prediction show. Let's see. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to be back with a show about the rivalry between U.S. and Mexico, because I think that's going to be fun. And then, yeah, so here's what I want you guys to do. All right. First thing I want you to do is make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell. If you guys are tuning in on TikTok Live, the link is going to be in the description, so you guys can head over to YouTube and make sure you show the channel some love and some support, because we are 6 away from 500. So I want to hit that number. I think tomorrow I'm going to do that one where I'll have a breakdown of the rivalry between U.S. and Mexico, because I think I just kind of like talking about it. It's fun. And then as the week progresses, yes, we're going to have a pre-match buildup. So stay tuned and check out the posts on the YouTube channel so you guys are notified of what's happening on the channel. So I do want to thank you guys. It's been fun. Germany does win today, but it is what it is. It was a friendly. I think that there was a lot of good things that came at it from a UF side. I still don't think we've answered that question of what this German side actually is. Same thing with the US. So, we will find out as soon as group play starts. But nonetheless, it was fun today. It was fun having you guys around. You guys are awesome. You guys really are. Even the trolls out there. It is what it is. I do want to thank all those that tuned in today. You guys are great. So again, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Saturday. Take care.
Rusted goalposts under fading skies. Tattered flags waving dreams in our eyes.